The Bay Area's rock station, 107.7 The Bone.
I'm like super fangirl for Dethklok. How did you end up on the show? Did Brendan just call you and was like, I got this character, or?
No, it was like, we did Sounds of the Underground a few years ago, and, excuse me, the show, I think it just had one episode come out, and we heard about it. And, we were like, wow, we gotta check this show out. And we were playing, the last show for Sounds of the Underground was in LA, and I was just hanging around backstage, and, Brendan came up to me, and he's like, hey, I'm Brendan, I do the show, and I was like, oh yeah, we heard about that show. And he said, we'd love for you to, come and do some voices for it. And I was like, yeah, man, yeah, sure, And then, there was, a little bit of time that, we had other stuff to do, and they were busy doing things, and then we kind of worked at a time that I could come over here, go out to LA rather, from Tampa, and do the stuff. And by that time I'd already seen the cartoon stuff, and I was like, man, this cartoon is great, So I went out there, and I met Brendan and Tommy and everyone that works at the studio and everything, and did the stuff, and I got to meet Mark Hamill, he does the rest of it. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I got to sit in the studio while he was doing some of his parts and watch him do them. That was awesome. They brought me over. Are
you going in for the new season?
I haven't talked to Brendan. Hopefully, I'm going to see Brendan tomorrow. I haven't talked to him, so I hope that we're going to see him tomorrow. And look, whatever they ask me to do, I would do. I'm honored that they put me on the show, and now the show is taking off. Like, so, man, it's huge. The band is huge. The tours are doing, everything is going real good for them. They deserve it. They're awesome dudes. They're metalheads. I mean, they're not just a bunch of dudes that made a cartoon about metal and don't know what they're talking about. They listen to metal. Brendan, is writing a lot of the music and stuff. Tommy and Brendan, they're just huge fans of this music, and a lot of the people that work there too. So not just us. I mean, just in general, all these different bands. And so it's metal's cartoon. It's not just a cartoon that's a bunch of dumb metalhead dudes in a band and they're stupid or whatever. They're challenged in some areas. Those dudes, they get themselves in some trouble and some stuff. But when it comes to their band, they know everything, and you can't get anything past them. And so anyway, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I met those guys, with Brendan, and then I came over, and I'm just honored that I've been on the show because it's helped us. I know it has helped us and a lot of other metal bands that guys that have appeared on the show doing voices and whatnot, and people are always talking about the show and the correlation with us and characters and shit. I mean, like I said, since it's blown up, it has brought so much attention to other bands, and including ours, that, I'm just, like I said, thankful they let me be a part of it, And if Brendan says, hey, we got something for you for this, then of course I'm there, It's not even a question.
How do you feel about the rumors that you're part of the composite for Nathan Explosion?
They're
not. Talked to Brendan about it?
Yeah, they're not rumors. He
definitely was like.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, dude, come on. Obviously, he's like, of course. And I read an interview where he said that it was like me meets Conan the Barbarian, which is even more flattery because Conan rules. And I love Conan the Barbarian. I read the comic books when I was young. I was growing up. Savage Sword Conan, Marvel comics and stuff, and I loved that comic growing up. So if they made a guy that's now this huge, big, cartoon character, and Brendan told me, of course, dude, you can look at it and see. It's not supposed to be just me, though.
Yeah, he said it was a composite.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to take. I would never try to take credit for because come on, they created the Nathan Explosion,
But clearly, there's a lot of similarities.
Sure,
You definitely are some inspiration there.
Well, yeah, sure, and like again, I'm flattered, but I don't want to take I don't want to try to take any kind of credit for it. That's their baby. That's their, they created that, and it's awesome. And if I was in mind, which Brendan told me, of course you were part of the inspiration for him. And again, flattered, and I'm happy. I'm proud that I was part of it. I'm proud to call those guys my friends, and hopefully, they'll be here tomorrow because, they're awesome. Really, I love hanging around them. They treated me great when I came out, and they treated me good anytime I've done anything for the show. And, sure, I would love to do more. It was great. I mean, I was nervous when I went in the studio to do it.
Really?
Yeah, sure. Because, well, you know, it's different.
Did they give you a lot of direction, or did they just go, here's the dialogue?
Well, no, because I was interacting with them, and they were like, "Whoa, dude, you're acting like you've been here before." And I'm like, "Well, I've been in the studio before," but they're like, "No, but you're acting like a voice actor. You're asking questions and wanting, I never changed any like lines or anything. I think like the one line I might have changed, or one word, excuse me, was the episode where Nathan Explosion's in the Dimmu Burger shop, and the kid comes up. I was the kid that comes up and starts yelling at him and telling him, "Hey, face." The face I think I put in there, because I think maybe it was something else, and I was like, "Man, can I cuss there? Can I put a cuss word in there?" And that was it. Yeah. But trust me, they wrote everything. But yeah, they were. If I wanted to suggest something, they were cool with it. Hey, what if I put this here, put that there? Because that's what I was more familiar with as far as like singing, being in the studio. If like Alex or Paul, who writes most of the lyrics for the band, if there's something I go, maybe we should change this to a the, nothing really big, but just small things that I would, catch. That maybe we have to compact the line or something, and that was anything. That was pretty much all that I did with that. But they weren't like, they were like, "Hey, if you think there's something here you want to put in or whatever, And then they were cool. They gave me the.
So is that how the process is going with Cannibal Corpse when you guys are coming up on new albums? Because I remember when I talked to Alex at Mayhem last year, I was like, "Dude, are you in danger of actually having like a Nathan Explosion moment where you're like writing something and you're like, wait a minute, we already did that. We've already killed somebody that way, or we've already done that."
I'm sure that kind of stuff, comes up, where you don't want to keep repeating things, but I mean that's the beauty of singing about killing people. There's a limitless amount of ways for people to die. I mean, or be killed.
Is there anything that you feel like you've missed that you're like, we never actually got
Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out because we'll be doing a new album sometime next year. And we'll hit that. But I mean, I want to say one more thing. That was the Metalocalypse thing. Is that I was nervous because it's not my realm. Going to the studio and growling is one thing, but I was having to be like, okay, make up a voice for this character. And the kid that was in the burger place, he's the only character that I saw a picture of. You know what I mean? That I was going to be doing. I didn't see pictures for any other characters, so Brendan would be like, okay, man, you're doing this assassin guy, and he wears a mask, he's big, you know what I mean? So I had to think of something for that, and that's why I was just like, at first, I calmed down and stuff, and those guys will tell you, I was like I do now, blah, 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 in between, and he's like, come on, all right, okay, do the line, and I was like, yeah, but, and I would just be talking to him, and they'd be like, but I wanted to ask questions, because I was real nervous, like when I was first in there, because it's in a studio, but it's just a different realm. It really is. And I mean, really, just being there for that little bit, I respect, guys like Mark Hamill, who's done more than just the Dethklok.
He does a ton.
He's done a lot of stuff. He did, Joker and so he's accomplished voice actor and actor, himself. So I thought he was going to be there when I was doing my parts. I would have been my pants. Sure, I would have been like, oh man, but it would have been cool if he was.
Because you've done festivals in front of tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, and that's
Mark Hamill's going to make you.
I could play in front of 1 million people. I would not be nervous. I would be like, I don't know. I don't mean it in a really arrogant way. Like when I go on stage, I feel the power, and I feel like I can take everybody in the palm of my hand if I so. You know what I mean? It's the mentality I think that you should have when you go on stage. It's not arrogant, like I'm better than anybody. It's just I want to be in command. And I feel like I am, and I feel like I can be. But in the studio, I wasn't, because it was just a new world for me, And but it was cool. I mean, I got to be in a cartoon. That's I got to do voices in a cartoon. I had a great cartoon, a metal cartoon.
I'm seriously jealous. I'm super jealous of Dethlkok, because I have a bunch of friends who've been in it. And I'm like, oh, you got to be a Dethlkok.
Yeah, I mean, it's
kind of awesome.
Oh, it's an honor. I mean, I tell Brendan every day, every time I see him, I'm just dude, man, just thanks for letting me be there, because people associate us with the show now, and course it helps a lot. You know, I mean, there's people there in line with Dethklok shirts on, and you know, it's a great band too. I mean, I went and saw them on the first album tour. We didn't get to see them on this last tour because we were, I think, in Europe or something. But you know, went and saw them. It's an awesome show. And Brendan's an awesome guitar player. You know, of course, got Gene playing drums with him. And he's great. So.
And then supposedly they're going to do it again in the fall.
Yeah, I hope that we're going to be home because I really want to see it.
107.7 The Bone.
Streaming online at 1077thebone.com.